Oh shit. Hey, thank you for tuning in to the Cold Coffee Show. My name is Glamis. I'm be your host today, along with,
Big Smooth.
And Tony Sparks.
and we have a special guest in the house. We have Barbara Tarina.
Barbara
She's the wonderful lady who always gives us great gifts. And last night you came and you performed at
Shugs.
Shugs.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
It was
did your
great. It was
thing,
fun.
huh?
Thank you for having
You-
me there.
you-
I really enjoyed it.
You did a great job too.
Thank you.
It was very different. I was really surprised. Because I had watched you before, and then I was like, "Wow, she came with a whole different spin." So great job.
Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah. So, also, Barbara, first of all, give us a little bit about you, just a little bit.
Well, I live in a little town of Junction City, Oregon, but I am in the city at least once a month. I'm an RN, a nurse in Oregon. I do stand-up comedy, and sometimes I like to blend those two. So most of my comedy venues are here in San Francisco area.
Okay. Nice. And it's always nice to blend health with joy. Yeah.
Because it's healing.
Because
Yes.
it's healing. And you had a healing situation that occurred a couple weeks ago
A week ago, yes.
with the family member being connected through Ancestry.com.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I found, after 56 years, I found my sister. Yes.
56.
Yeah, man, that's.
It was actually my daughter who had found her. She went to Ancestry.com. She submitted her DNA, and she said, "Mom, what is this? This woman says I'm a direct DNA match to this woman." And I said, "Let me see her picture." I'm looking back at somebody that looks like me.
Wow. So she
And-
looked like you.
Yes,
That's
it looks like me a lot. And then I read her profile, and I knew everything about her. I knew her birth name. I knew her birthplace. I knew, her full name was Mary Claire Torina, and when she was born and where she was born, and then we called each other.
Wow. What a
That's
beautiful
sweet.
story.
That's
And
sweet,
then
yeah.
what was the outcome?
Well,
excited.
the first phone call, it was a couple of days before we actually connected on phones. She sent my daughter her phone number, and I was with my daughter at the time, and I called her, and I said, "Yes, Nina, my name is Barbara. I'm your sister."
Wow.
She didn't know she was adopted until she was 25, and they only told her she had a brother. She didn't know she had a sister, and she was, of course, nervous. She goes, "Are you absolutely sure?" I said, "Yes. You are a direct DNA match with my daughter. I know everything about you, your birth name, your birthplace, and I've known about you since I was 7, and I've thought about you and wanted to meet you and be with you my entire life."
That's crazy.
And I said, and it just felt like you weren't real. And we were just both sobbing, and she goes, "I am real."
Yeah, I am real. That is beautiful.
So then she grew up like 20 minutes away from me in Michigan. And she goes, "Well, I'm going to Michigan next week." It had already been planned. It had nothing to do with our meeting. And I said, "I'm going to Michigan next week."
Look at that.
So we met, first my brother and I met her first to just kind of take
Yeah, sure.
not overwhelm her. And then the next day, there were family from everywhere, aunts, cousins, uncles. They came as far as Toronto, Canada. We all met. Everybody embraced her and hugged her and cried and welcome to the family.
Yeah, that was
That's
sweet.
amazing.
Yeah,
And
Barbara.
so now I'm a big sister.
Yes, you are. Oh, and she's a lucky young lady to have
That's
such
amazing.
a wonderful sister as you.
Yeah, I have my own experience with Ancestry.com. It's not so much I get to meet in my family, but I got to figure out what I am. You know what I'm saying? And my whole life, I know I was African American, but of course I'm light skinned, so it was some mixture in there.
And you always get people saying, "Oh, you're something else. You're something else. You're
Oh,
something
are you
else,"
Filipino?
Right.
Are you Samoan? Are you
Everything,
Hispanic?
yeah.
Are you this?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, are you that? And I'm
Yeah.
like, no. And then
No, no, I'm not.
and then I thought I was Native American because that's what I've been told my whole life. And it turns out
It's not much Native American.
Right.
Any Native American in me. Any?
Well, that's because after 5 generations, it goes away.
Right.
That's
Right.
what that, that's what that's
Because
about.
Grandma always talk about how her great uncle was a chief.
But you got to remember, that was Grandma's great uncle, right?
Right.
Right.
So boom, boom, boom.
And then
It's out of you.
Yeah.
It's out of you.
That's the same thing that happened with my daughter when she got her profile, her ethnicity profile.
Right.
And I was teasing Glamis last night. I said, my daughter's more black than yours.
Right. Because I told her about how much percentage you had.
Yeah. I had 26%.
26, okay.
26% European mixed in there. Irish, all this stuff and all that. And the rest of it was from Africa, but Congo was the biggest one. You know what I'm saying? Basically along that little coast, like wherever the Ivory Coast on over to that little round part of Africa.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? It looks like a handle part.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm from.
That's where you from?
That's where my people from.
That's where your people from.
Nigeria, feel me?
Hey. But a lot of...
Go ahead, Nigeria.
Right, Nigerian.
You feel me?
Yes.
Get there, bust a move, man. Don't let me learn the movements.
Uh-oh.
Don't let me go.
Turn the on the
Y'all
left
stupid.
hand side. That's the wrong word. Turn the second on the left hand side.
That's Jamaican.
I know. You know.
I felt for Nina, maybe even not being able to meet her family, but at least knowing who she was, like genetically and her heritage,
I'm sorry. Nina is your daughter?
Nina is
Your
my sister.
It's your sister. Okay.
Yes.
Nina.
Nina, yes. And so when you find out you're adopted, I'm assuming all of a sudden you're a blank page,
Sure.
Everything that you thought you were or who you thought you were is no longer true. It's like, yes, these people are good, they're kind, they've been my family, but I don't have that same bond that I was led to believe that I have.
Sure. And then you always desire to figure out. You want to connect with it.
Right.
Even if you never actually spend the entire time with that, you want to know.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want to know, okay, I got it.
What
I
am
got
I
it.
made of?
Yeah, I got it.
Who makes me?
Man, that sounds like all my children. Anyway.
But you were saying, so you're 26% European. No, African.
European. The rest was from Africa, pretty much.
Oh, the rest was from Africa.
So it was majority.
See, you thought, she.
Oh, I got it wrong.
Got it
No,
wrong.
he
You
Afro
thought it was
American.
Okay. All right. Well, now I know. How you like me now?
Hey, legit.
But speaking of how you like me now, what is this malarkey going on with our mayor or our interim mayor of San Francisco, London Breed? That was a bunch of, for lack of a better word, malarkey in a real way.
Right.
That was some bullshit.
Yeah, well, there you go. There
All
you go.
I'm saying is that why didn't San Francisco just say, I hate black people?
Man,
Why don't they?
is that,
Yeah.
you just...
You know what I'm saying? Like, what was wrong with her being? I mean, excuse me.
Bless you.
I know it didn't play a factor when what was the woman?
Mayor Dianne Feinstein.
Yeah, it didn't play a factor in her.
Right. I heard
being
the same thing
interim
with
mayor.
Mayor Ed Lee, too. I heard that he was acting mayor and then he just, elected it. You know what I'm saying? What's the difference?
What's the
I
difference?
don't get it. I
Melanin?
don't understand.
Well, the thing that's
That's
crazy
what I
about.
think,
Well, there you go. The thing about Ed Lee, I think we talked about this maybe a couple weeks ago. Ed Lee said he wasn't gonna run for mayor.
Oh,
Right?
so he said he wasn't.
He said he wasn't, and then
Oh,
he
they
said he
end up
was
being-
convinced.
Oh, okay.
Right. So that was,
Yeah.
So and so why is it that this what's his name? The guy, what's his name?
Farrell.
From
Yeah.
District 2.
Mark Farrell?
Mark Farrell from District 2. What's he's saying he doesn't want to run, but what's going to stop him from running
Right.
in
Yeah.
actuality?
Right.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing.
And so then he has
And
to
then people are going to
apprehend-
already see him as the mayor.
And there
Right.
you go.
Well,
and
yeah.
that's what they were trying to say, that they would see London Breed as the mayor and she would win. And so why wouldn't you want her to win anyway? Hello, she was the president of the supervisors.
Yeah.
Evidently her peers thought she was capable
Right.
of being the mayor.
Exactly.
Because they knew that, okay, if something happens to our mayor, the president is going to step into that spot, right?
And I think though that she represents like old school San Francisco. I mean, like look at it. She grew up in the projects.
Right.
she still cares about affordable housing
Yes.
and people being able to live, people of color being able to live in the city.
Right.
You understand?
And they want us gone.
And yeah,
Well,
Period.
yeah,
They want us gone.
yeah.
They
So
wanna-
sad. It's so hurtful.
Look at Fillmore. Fillmore is not the same.
None of it.
Look
No,
at
Fillmore.
3rd Street.
None of
Third
it.
Street's not the same.
None of it.
It's totally different. My dad's family is from West Point. I'm proud of that. It don't look the same anymore. It's looking like downtown somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it sure is, and it's costing like downtown somewhere.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they totally revamped it.
You know what? Let me tell you something. It used to be in the city, statistics. It used to be the largest home ownership in the city, and most of it was African American when I moved
That's
here.
right.
Exactly. And now, like it was affordable. I remember when my second ex-wife and I were looking for a place to live. The brunt of the places that we looked at were in the Hunters Point area.
And they were very affordable. Actually, my parents bought a home over. It's called Silver Terrace, but it's pretty close to they call it Bayview, but it's Silver Terrace, and they bought a home there. And mostly everybody on both sides of the block on the street were African American. Some of them lost the home to crack. Right?
Right.
And then some
Facts.
of them, because the parents died and they left it to the children, and so the children, they kind of just abused the situation,
Right.
and they lost the property. But black homeowners weren't not moving in, and I think maybe 3 out of probably 50 African American families are still there. Just 3.
Mark, can you hold,
And
can-
I don't
can
know
hold
if you
that
know-
thought- Hold that thought real quick.
Yeah.
You guys watching YouTube Live, we appreciate you watching. You know,
YouTube Live.
if you guys want to interact with us, we're live.
free.
I'm right here by the computer. Chime in.
We will talk back.
All right.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, if you're looking at live, you can see the telephone number. You could call in 415-861-6648. We'll love to hear from you.
Yes. All right.
Okay.
But I mean, they were talking about how, because it's an industrial area, all the toxins in the air,
Oh yeah.
and how that was a big issue.
And it caused a lot of cancer.
I definitely
Yeah.
did.
But since then they've
Rest in peace,
changed
Zave.
all that a lot. You remember the place on by the water where you guys used to do comedy?
Oh, the bounty.
Yeah.
We were just talking about
Just
the
talking about-
bounty.
Yeah, now
Yep.
they've changed that all together. Have you been out there?
Is it even there? Is
Well,
it even
it's
there?
not. It's something else. It's like
Concrete something?
it's something that is about all about. It's the kind of like ecology or something.
Oh.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. It's all redone, and remember, you just used to like walk out to it, and now there's like.
Oh, you can't. It's blocked
Yeah.
off.
Well, it's not blocked off. It's just like there's green stuff all growing around and a walkway. It's a very different look.
It's a very
There's
different.
bathrooms. Because then we have to pee off the side. No.
Well, I know I did. No, I'm just No, but but back to London Breed, you guys. It has to be something. Is there anything that we could do? Or can she sue? Can we
Well,
can we push her to sue?
I can't quote her, but I like what she said. This just is basically saying that it pushes people who haven't voted, who's not taking advantage, and you want to see a change. Come vote.
Yeah.
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 Come voice your opinion. The little small percent of us African American, I'm gonna say that's out here. Go do it if you want to see us in the office.
Exactly. And the thing is, I mean, it was only like what 6-7 months that she was going to be.
Right.
But I get it, and she's being very diplomatic, and that's wonderful.
Yeah.
But
classy for
like
sure.
Tony said, that's some bullshit.
That is
Right.
some
No, that is some straight bullshit.
Yes.
And if you following protocol, and then you break protocol, isn't that kind of like breaking some kind
It's
of
been in the rules, kind of.
yeah? So
I heard it was a
Well-
backroom deal going on. I heard it's some money situation. I can't comment so much, but that's what I heard.
Well, for the
Backroom
love of
deal.
That is
That's what it's all
that was
about.
my sister.
Oh.
Yes, she was.
Tell-
But she
tell her
didn't
to
know
call. Tell her to
What
call.
is that? Okay.
tell her the phone number is
Hey, Nina, I'm going to give you this phone number.
and you give us a call, Nina. We want to talk to you.
Write down this phone number, hon, okay?
Get a pen. She
You
ready?
got- you
Is she
got
ready?
pen?
She
You ready?
ready.
This is the
Good
Cold
him.
Coffee Show.
Good.
The
Cold
Cold
Coffee Show.
Coffee
All right, you
Show.
want me to just text
with
it to
me
you?
and my
And I'll get-
mama.
okay, what's the phone number,
and
baby?
Tony's
It's
bar.
415.
Yeah, we chillin'.
415.
While
You ready?
they handle this.
Why they
yeah,
handle it?
I'm hella.
All right,
yeah,
I'm gonna text
low,
it to you, and then you
so
call.
is my mama.
No, I'm not. I'm brown.
I'm yellow
And
as
I
Sorry.
fuck.
get down.
And I love it so
And I live
much.
in the
Text
town.
with the
Are
number
we done over
And I
there?
love you back.
Hey, chilling this
This
thing.
song is not whack because we are the.
All right, I ain't messing with you.
Bomb. Boom. Boom.
6648.
I'm gonna do
That
it
was our
right now.
intermission. That was our intermission while we try to get Nina to call in and share her experience.
Yeah,
All right,
that'd be great. So I just sent her the phone number. So she
Okay,
can
so
call
we'll
in.
wait for Nina to call in and back to London Breed. I'm sorry, I can't. This is just. Is it something that we could do?
I have a question on that. So, I mean, you know, constitutions go all the way down. We have a federal constitution,
That's right.
state
That's right.
constitution, county, you know, bylaws and things to adhere to.
Right?
And, like, so there has to be a constitution, bylaws, or laws governing this situation.
Right.
Like, who's the interim mayor and what are it's going to be all in writing. I mean, we're just not going to figure this out today.
No.
What do you think we should do? I don't know. You know, no, it's already cut and dry. So it seems to me, and not being a San Franciscan, you know, but just common sense, it seems to me like somebody just said those rules don't apply.
There you go. There you go.
We
And
don't care about the
they
rules.
did that
We just
with
changed them.
Yep, they did that with the San Francisco Unified School District this past year. My daughter, her principal, they didn't want her there. She was an interim
Yes.
vice principal. The principal it's a long story. It was she was going to make that school, Paul Revere, a phenomenal school. Miss Scott,
Right.
but it didn't happen. But it was politics.
Right.
You know, we went to the school board, we complained, we did this, we did that. No, they gave us somebody from somewhere else, not even from the San Francisco Unified School District, period. He was from somewhere else.
Right.
Nice guy, love him. But
No
Mr.
Didn't know
Scott,
his job. Yeah.
Miss Scott, and now her school is flourishing. She's flourishing. She is,
Went to another.
yeah,
school.
she was fortunate enough to be able to interview to go to another school, but they were trying to stop her from interviewing. If we hadn't went down and spoke up for her, she wouldn't have been able to interview at all,
Right,
period.
right, right.
So the politics in San Francisco is a bunch of bullshit,
Hey,
and we see you.
And it's to
Yeah.
me, it's synonymous with convictions of convenience.
And there you go.
Well, I believe this.
I'ma just
but
serve some
only
cold coffee
under the
for that ass
circumstance,
right there.
If it
Really.
works for
Some
me,
cold
you know?
ass coffee.
what's that cold ass coffee, man?
Some cold ass stale ass coffee. Shit.
So hilarious.
Yeah. So,
All right. So, also in today's news, or earlier in this week news, the Olympics gymnastic trainer Larry Nassar,
Nassar. Larry Nassar. Dr. Asshole Larry Nassar. Yeah.
This dude
I think his name
is
is
the
Asshole.
coldest person that I know. I personally deal with kids. I'm personally an athlete. I've been around trainers. You definitely get touched, but if you're touching unnecessarily, that doesn't make any sense, man.
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. The young lady who came out, her name was Michaela. What was it? Michaela. What did he tell me? I read it, but Maroney.
Maroney.
Michaela Maroney. She was the first one who came out. She said that the doctor took her into the room, told her that he had to do the treatment. He called it a treatment.
Okay.
He penetrated her.
Wow.
He said that he did it with. It has been done with all other Olympians, and he did it for many, many years after the first incident, and he would do it on numerous occasions. He would say it's time for a treatment.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, from like 97 to like
Yeah, I read.
2016.
They said it was first happened. It came. What is it? 4 women came to Michigan State to say something, and did nothing happen. And then a couple months later, 2 more females, 2 more, like polo team or something like that. Don't call me the team, golf team. Don't matter. They were youngsters.
Yeah.
Wow.
They were humans, and
Yeah.
you're not supposed to mess that trust up. Period.
You're
Yeah.
not supposed to, especially with coaches. My goodness, it's like those are your extended family. That's like a extended parent,
Exactly.
you know, and especially as much as they spend time
Right.
with the coaches.
But 156 women.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
156
That's
women.
Amazing. That's
But how was
that's
it?
mind blowing. The amount of people.
How did they keep quiet for so long though? This is the thing
Right.
that baffles me.
You know, okay, like, come on, like, I feel my heart really goes out to women because it's hurtful and shameful to
Right.
come out and say, you know, and women are made to feel like it's their fault that they've done something wrong.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
And then these coaches are going to convince them, especially if they're a little bit older, the young ladies, and have some sense. If you bring this out, all of these bad things are going to
gonna
happen
happen.
to you.
Yeah.
This is all you're going to ruin your career
Yeah.
in sports. You're going to ruin your education. All of these bad things are going to happen to you. You are the one that is going to look bad, not me. Because
Yeah.
all I have to say, all I have to do is deny it, is what they'll say.
Well, sure.
And you're going to look bad.
Sure, and I guess it has to do with the individual, and maybe he did a picking and a choosing type of situation. Because I know that if it had been me at 13 years old, I know some of them were younger, but her Michaela was 13, started at 13. It wouldn't have been anything that could have stopped me. I don't care. I mean, but see, that's what I'm saying. He must have, like,
he must
he
have
knew.
had an idea
The
of
type
who
of-
to choose.
Predators know how to choose their victims.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I
Yeah.
mean, they methodically plot.
Sure.
And they know
Yeah,
how
and
to
that's
choose
evil,
the
man.
right
That is just
victim.
evil. That is just evil. And my heart goes out to each and every one of those women, little girls. And what's crazy is I some type of way, not some type of way, I guess some of the other employees at Michigan are retiring and stepping down on their own.
The athletic director stepped down.
Yeah.
Also, I also heard that Tom Izzo got in trouble for that. Tom Izzo is the men's basketball coach. He's like somebody you want to play for. You know what I'm saying? As far as like
wow.
coaching prestige, like he's been a couple times. I know of one for sure, national championship that he's won. Mateen Cleaves, Jason Richardson. But man, just to see somebody of that stature, knowing that this is going down, it's similar to what's the coach for Penn State? What's that coach's name?
Oh, yeah.
What's coach's name, man? I'm sorry, I'm a basketball guy.
I don't remember, but yeah, I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
Penn State coach. Same thing with the Sandusky situation. He was over there touching kids and they knew about it.
Right.
How do you know about this and don't say anything?
And don't say anything. Exactly.
And a lot of them
Come
are
on,
guilty.
man.
And now they're trying to get out of it. They're like, I'm retiring. I'm out of here.
They
I'm
don't want to
gonna-"
call out their
Right.
their
Right.
colleagues.
Sure.
And sometimes
they're
you get
like,
in-
well,
and-
maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not really happening.
But I mean, sometimes you get threatened, you get in trouble for like
Exposing?
Yeah, because I remember I being in a this has nothing to do, but I was like assistant manager at a pizza place, and the other assistant manager was stealing,
Right.
and all the employees knew it. He was averaging about 500 a day,
Wow.
and stealing the money.
See,
And this is the deal. I would have. I said I'm not going to turn over on them unless you guys back me up,
Right.
Because it could cause me to lose my job.
That's right.
You know, and they said, "Well, we got your back,"
yeah.
Okay.
and then we told on them, and that brother.
I'm gonna keep it real. That's your job, and I get that. But as far as like telling on something like that, I'm telling for sure. Touching somebody,
Little
touching
children.
touching
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah, it's all bad.
I'm telling on you, bro, and you might see me.
And you might see me, right?
You might
it might
see
be
me.
more than just the telling.
About some kids.
Yeah.
I got a daughter, bro. No.
Yeah,
I know that shit.
yeah.
When you have children,
No.
that
I'm not-
shit,
no.
you like, oh man,
Yeah. No.
Mm-mm.
And it's gotten so bad to where they're asking the whole USA Gymnastic Board to step down, and they want to get a whole new interim of a team of the board of the U.S. Gymnastics
Right.
Board until I don't know when they vote again for the people to be on the board, but they want everybody off the board. And before I got here, I heard that you said 100 and something, and I know 100 and something
56.
is life, but
Oh,
they
75.
gave him life.
175,
40
yeah.
to,
Yeah.
I believe it was 40 to 175. So
Yeah.
he's life anyway. 'cause
Yeah.
He OG.
Yeah, yep.
You know, 40 years concerned.
Well, as long as he does the 100, that'd be all right.
Yeah, well, he's in trouble.
And I heard the judge, she said some comment like she was happy to give it. Like, yep, you feel me?
Yeah,
I don't mind.
it's all you, boo.
Basically, like I'm proud. I'm sending your ass to die. I hope you.
Yeah,
die.
you
no,
outta
no.
here.
She said I signed your death certificate. That's what she said.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was nice.
Nice.
Yeah, well, because I mean, one of the things like when I understand
Coach
this one,
Paterno, Penn State.
Oh.
yeah,
Oh,
paternal, okay.
Yeah, Paterno.
But I understand that when people go to jail for children or stuff like that, the inmates really
Oh, they
go
get 'em.
after them.
They get him.
Well,
Oh,
they
yeah.
also separate them and put all the sickos in the same place.
If you gonna do dirt, but not that. Nobody
Not that.
respects that.
Yeah, you're ruining lives.
You almost don't respect that. You can't. It's like you got a sickness that, like, how could you want to? No, it's no way. You got to be sick.
gotta be sick. Well, there's a lot of sick people,
Don't
babe.
give sick people a bad name, all right?
No,
That's evil.
No,
That's evil.
yeah, that's
I don't know. That's sick to me. I gotta
Yeah.
keep it real.
yeah. That,
Not ill, sick.
no, yeah. that-
Right, I know in the context in which
Yeah.
you're saying that, but
Yeah. So, and yeah, I don't know. It kind of takes you to a place. You lose words. You know.
I think
lose
every
words.
parent really needs to closely monitor their kids that are in situations where they're closely related to someone in power. When there's that imbalance of power, such as a coach, a teacher, someone that they're on this different level, and that child is looking at that person that they are up at this level. Therefore, what they do must be correct. What they say must be right.
Right.
And just really, really pay attention to your kids. Those little nuances, those little signs.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, you make a great point. How did it happen? Because a lot of those parents are there with their children.
You know,
Oh,
it's so sad.
Well, the professional predators, they know exactly when, where, and how for this to happen.
And they just looking in their face, and the parents' faces, knowing they doing something to their little child, just looking at them in the face. Hey, haha.
Oh, everything went great.
Yeah, he just sprained his ankle. I gave him a little massage here and there. So if they say something wrong, that's what I'm thinking.
Right.
You trying to finesse the situation?
Yeah. They may even try to say that I did something. No, but no, it was just because I had to touch
Yeah.
this area.
Yeah.
So they may have felt a little uncomfortable. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, we weren't there, but I'm just
Yeah.
it just seems like
Exactly.
Trying to see,
like
think how
how
a
do
creep would think.
how do you get away with that type of behavior when the parents are right there?
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
It's,
Oh.
Yeah, and we've all kind of lost it at this point.
Yeah, we better
It's,
go.
it's,
Oh, yeah, it's that time.
it's a
So-
touchy situation.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the Cold Coffee Show. Yeah. It's Glamis,
Glamis.
Big Smooth,
Big Smooth in the building. Thank you.
Tony Sparks, and our guest for today is Barbara Tarina.
Hi, guys.
Unfortunately, we weren't able to hear from you today, Nina, but we love you. Welcome to the family.
Yeah.
And we hope we
Yeah.
can meet you one day soon, sister. So. Yeah, the Cold Coffee Show.
All right.